Guys, this is Chris. I'm here filming some gentlemen that are creating a mural. I'm gonna go over and talk to them real quick and they can tell us a little bit about what they're doing. If not, I'll narrate. They've said they're a little shy. Hey guys, I got the camera here. I can certainly do all the talking, but you can chime in. I saw you were all like deliberating over here a little bit on the what, the talons of the tail or whatever. What were you trying to decide? How feathers should look. They look pretty feathery to me. I like it. I like it. All right, so these guys are putting this mural on Square One Studios in preparation for an event called what, Masterpiece, right? Where guys from around the country come out and talk about your work, and you're the only local guys, right? Yeah, it's all locals on this wall. Okay, and there's like a starting point crossroads, right? Ruins or something, and then you guys.
Ruins Pub is the headquarters.
Is the headquarters, and then they're going to travel around. This being one of the locations.
Yeah, there's 9 locations.
9?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And Chad gave you this whole wall, huh?
And the alley and the fence.
Wow. Yeah, oh yeah, the fence already, you guys, that's completed. There's another gentleman down here, I guess, doing this around the corner. So what, about like 8 of you guys, or 6?
Yeah.
Something like that?
We got another,
that whole wall all the way down the alley also.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's definitely not going to be completed before the event, but you're hoping part of this will? The background won't, though, right behind the...
Right, we're just trying to get as far as we can.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
Hopefully it's all done.
It's awesome. And what'd you say before, Ben? It's like, was it you that said that? It's like, I said you want to describe anything about what what the art is, and you're like, it's like a bowl of spaghetti?
It's like a bowl of spaghetti. You got different kinds. You got like linguine and like spaghetti meatballs.
Thinner noodles, bigger noodles.
Thin noodles, fat noodles.
Very good. All right, guys, well, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work. I'm taking like a picture every time I'm here to kind of capture the progress.
Oh, yeah.
I can't promise it's going to look great. So if it were a time lapse, it'd be super short, but I'll see what I can get done there.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys. All right, so this is a little guy that Chad rented, a Square One Studio rented to move all these giant concrete blocks. They're right there, and he moved them here along the fence. And I don't know. I guess the inspiration, I don't know, the inspiration was to put them here to strengthen the barrier. I guess he doesn't want to be able to get through this gate. But all these big barriers were in that alley. If you just heard the guys, hopefully you were able to hear them. They're making, this whole back wall is opened up for a mural as well, for some art, street art. And yeah, so he wanted to move them, and this is where they landed. And to get this space open, he had to move more things around. And now I've got a neighbor to my north, this giant, I don't know what you call it. It's like a myriad of HVAC ductwork and such. And then the little thing off to the right, which, you know, not too close, doesn't bother me. You know, I guess if it fell over. That's where you put like large panels of like granite or just glass, kind of lay them in there. Anyway, okay, so I caught those guys. I wanted to get them on tape a little bit, but I want to talk about a couple other things since I'm on that topic. I get a lot of visitors here, and that point behind the fence is common. I've had 2 people come up and talk to me. And I just had a guy talk to me drive in. So I'll talk first about the guy that just drove in to talk to me. His name is, well, I don't know, I forget his name. But he has a food truck. And it first caught his attention that I have a Pennsylvania license plate, because that's where my parents live. Still have their car presently. Trying to put you on camera here, or so I'm on camera. Yeah, so yeah, he saw my Pennsylvania license plate, and I guess not necessarily followed me, but he lives around here, and he saw I came in to work on the camper, and he moved here. His wife's from the area. They moved here and have a food truck business and catering business. Food truck, he did it himself. He mentioned the model, I don't know what it was, but it's not an Airstream or anything like that. And he is not quite there to, well, he is there, but he hasn't opened it yet as a food truck. Like, he's just doing the catering business. And the company is called Timon, or Tamon. It's no meat backwards. So you can find them on Facebook. They're locally in Kansas City. And I asked him, you know, I'm not quite there, but when I am, can you come out and have a look and tell me if there's some particulars that maybe I should do to make it more accommodating if this were a part-time food truck. I have lots of different ideas for it. I'm not a professional cook or anything, so maybe I'd hire out the kitchen side or bring some people in to use it on occasion. But obviously another great resource, and it's just someone who just drove in here and said, hey, I saw the plates, I saw the camper, let's talk. So that's funny. I want to add that. And then behind you on the fence here had two different gentlemen recently come talk to me. One was an electrician here on site, and he's from, I guess originally from here. Now he lives in an RV up in Platte City, and it's like, I forget how much a month. It's real affordable. And he talked about how he'd moved here from Oklahoma, and he's had different size trailers, pull behinds. He had one that was like 30 plus feet sometime, 39 or something. But yeah, he loves it, how he can do it, live so inexpensively. And he talked about different things, like he had a resort model, I guess, where there was no tanks or anything, so you had to be hooked up to water and power, not boondocking, as they say, where you're off-grid. And yeah, and he's an electrician here on site, and he now has a fifth, I guess it's a fifth wheeler he has, and that's it. So I hope to see him here again, and he can give me some pointers, and then the second guy is a photographer. Kansas City is just full of photographers, and this guy was next door to a place called Holy Cow, and they do some random, like, you know, random movies. I don't remember what day of the week it was like Wednesday or something, where he was out here and just walked up. His interest was, he wanted to do something like this because he, on the weekends, goes to like motorcycle competitions, like motocross or something, and he wanted something that he could go on site and stay there and sleep in. And I think it's a great idea, so he's just toying with it and wanted to ask me how it was going, how I knew to do some of these things. And I said, yeah, well, I'm an engineer, degreed engineer, but that doesn't mean I can do this stuff, but I've shown a propensity. And now, just putting it to the test, I told him YouTube, everything, like great sources out there, great people, just like the guy I talked about earlier who's got his own food truck. There's just people out there. If you find them, if you open up, be social, and they can help you along the way. So, yeah, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else at this point to add on my little discussion about, local engagement and just passerbys wanting to speak up. Yeah, I had one guy once also say, he's in town for a few more days and for some side money if I have any work for him to do. And I was like, right now I'm not really in a phase where I have hands on deck to help me with a lot of stuff, nor am I really got that money to kind of to divvy up like that and hire some help. But it comes down to being a good leader. And my buddy Matt, who you saw out here once, he's going to maybe stop by sometime this weekend because I need an extra set of hands. So part of that is just knowing, when and how you can use help if it comes along. So so that's something to think about, how to be a good manager, project manager, foreman, if you will, on a construction site. So anyway, all right, I'll just, since you're here, let me talk about this. You probably saw the blooper I showed you about how I was cutting the board off here and it was hanging down. There's really, in my mind, not a great way to handle that. I don't know if I discussed it. Maybe I regressed and forgot how I decided to solve that problem. But over here, let me take you back off and talk about this. So this is my last sheet of plywood that I currently have. Finished all the way to the bathroom. You saw this, it's in a different direction now. I'm cutting it to the width of the camper. This is my shooting board where I'm ripping down the 4x8. So you can see how, this is a better angle. You can see how this I made to the width so that the blade itself is right along here. So that once you mark your board, and you mark it on one end down, and then the other, and then I checked it from both directions that it's the same, then you decide what side of the line you're going to cut on. you know, measure at least twice. And then I clamped it down. And because this board, hopefully it's not warped from sitting out here because I had it covered, but it there was a gap there, and while the plate or whatever of the circular saw, you know, you don't want that getting under there. That's nice and tight. But here, if it droops down, the cut line would have been maybe off. So I screwed a couple screws here, kind of hold it down, keep it a little bit tighter so that it cut cleanly. So I wanted to add that, and I will add one more thing now, a couple more things, a few more minutes. We're already at after 10 minutes here. I pulled out the AC unit. It's a Memorial Day weekend, and occurred to me that sales are going on. I've been talking about putting a mini split system in here, and I will talk more in depth about which one I chose and all that, and deliberated and agonized a little bit, as I often do, overanalyze. But so I bought one. It's coming this week, next week rather. So I pulled out this old guy. I got a friend who wants it, John. You saw the first video, and just, you know, this was a wasp's nest. Here's another one. So this was inside there. They built this whole thing inside the cabinet, and I plugged it in. It works. There's the fridge. I cleaned that up. It had some rust along the bottom or condensate right at the seal. So that works. I'm trying to sell that in Craigslist. This is free to a friend. That is 115 volt. And I don't know what the SEER rating is on it, the seasonal energy efficiency ratio. Oh, here's my little side table I just decided to do. This is for my scaffold, for my ladder, so I can get up on this ladder that's down there, do work up high and stuff. And so I cut it to sit on the top of the ladder. You'll see it later. But I was like, you know what, instead of moving things from the table to here when I'm cutting and moving, just put it all there. So that made life a little easier. You know, by the time I'm done with this thing, I'll have it all figured out how to do the next one. If I have the energy and the money and the time. Okay, so here is the hole. So we've got light in the bathroom. I'm super excited about this being back. I have those panels to put the window back in, and I'm sure some pieces of this crank arm and stuff are going to be replaced. I know, in fact, over here it's broken a little bit, but that's the old wood that was holding it. There was a metal strap. I mean, that thing was heavy. It's got to have been at least 50 pounds. The new mini split's going to be heavier, I think, overall, probably closer to like 90 pounds, but that just sat there on the window, and now you can't really tell. Well, the stuff's here, but it makes the bathroom feel so much bigger to have the light and that not there. And you can appreciate the curvature of this wall all the way down. I mean, that really makes the space feel different, you know, and that simple canned ham aspect of this, you know, it's still like life in the box. If you watch that channel, it's awesome. You know, this is a box, but those little aspects, those details really change that dynamic. All right, so if you notice, I've made progress. I don't know how much I showed you before, but yesterday I cut down another board, like I'm doing outside. The one you saw I'm cutting down right now is going here. And I think I talked about this wood, about how I'm going to bolt it down and stuff. So I'm going to bring the plywood here, and then underneath me, I got to probably go buy another sheet for that, depending on how much I have left over. But that's it. So feeling really good about getting this floor on this Memorial Day weekend done, so I can finish these walls, and talking about Matt and friends come out to help. This is where I need two hands for putting up the header here. So that's going to be great. That's kind of sill plate up top sill plate or whatever. Anyway, oh, and Brad, my buddy Brad in Tucson, corrected me that the cross members, he said they're called channels, maybe just by the nature of the style, or for trailers they call them channels, but that's what those metal, you know, cross members, I was calling them, are. And I'm cutting the plywood down to sit on each of those. My friend Ben was saying that it would make it stronger, in his opinion, if I put the seams of plywood on all of those channels. So maybe I mentioned that before, but if I didn't, there is that. All right, enough of this video.